Good evening, everybody. Cindy Tinker here. Cindy Mashburn Tinker used to be. Well, I was Cindy Mashburn forever and ever, amen. But anyway, those of you who know me know who I am, and those of you who don't, this is I think my fourth installment on this program, and or on this journey. I had a counseling appointment today, and it really helped me a lot. I've been going through grief counseling, and my counselor told me that she was really proud of me, and that she felt like that I was getting back to me, to being me, and I feel that way too. But to understand where I've come from, I want to tell y'all a little bit about me. I was born in Colorado Springs on July the 8th, 1964. My dad was in the Army, and he was stationed at Fort Carson, and my mom was 19. He was 21 when I was born, so we all grew up together, pretty much. But to today's standards, that was kids having kids back then, but that's just what you did. You got out of high school, you got married, and you had a family, and you went to work and all that good stuff. So anyway, we moved back here when I was a year old. Spent my first birthday in Anniston because Daddy came back, and he was stationed at Fort McClellan. And then we moved here to Odenville, and I've been here ever since. And I just turned 60 this year, so I've been here a long time. My families, both sides of my family, my mom's family and my dad's family are here, but my mom's family, her roots run really deep here. Her family pretty much was here when it was settled. So my kids are fifth generation graduates of St. Clair County High School, and I'm proud of that. But anyway, fast forward, I went to high school here, went to college for a little while at Stanford University, and then I got married to my first husband, and we had our son, Colin, and we were in the ministry for several years as a family. We were known as the Mashburns, and we actually had a song or two to hit the charts, national charts, and it was good. We really enjoyed ministering, and felt honored and privileged to be able to do that for the Lord. But then life got in the way. Kids started getting older and had to go to school, so we had to come off the road. And a few years later, things just happened, and I ended up divorced. It was no fault of anybody's. It was just, we grew apart. And he's a good person, a good man. Gave me a wonderful son. I'm so thankful for that. And I married my second husband. We had been together for 5 years. I had met him a year after my divorce, and we were together for 5 years when we got married. And then his name was Alan Tinker, and we were married a year and a half when he passed away. He passed away in an airport in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on December 22nd, 2022. And at 2:43 in the afternoon, he went on to glory and went on to be with his mom and his dad, and who had already passed away, moved on ahead of him. But that was one of the biggest shocks, if not the biggest shock of my life. And I did not know what I was going to do. But, God has a plan. I might not have understood the plan at that time, and I still don't understand the plan. I don't know why he took him as quickly as he did. But he left 2 daughters and a brother and sister-in-law and a nephew and his family, and a host of Haywoods. They are a lot like my dad's family, the Mashburn family. They're huge. and they're good old country people, and I love every one of them. I felt really at home with his family and thankful that I was able to meet a lot of them and become close to them, as well as his friends. He has a wonderful, wonderful group of friends, and they have just taken me in and loved me like I had been there forever and ever. And I'm so appreciative of all of them. But to say that I was devastated or that I just was lost was an understatement, because I didn't know what I was going to do. All I could do was pray and ask God for guidance, and that's what I still do today. On November 27th of this year, it had been 2 years since I had seen him face to face, since I had seen Alan face to face, since I had touched him. He'd had him in my arms, or he had me in his arms. I hugged him and gave him a kiss and dropped him off at the airport at Birmingham. And that's the last time that I was in his presence. And I cherish those moments because, you know, a lot of people, they don't leave the world on good terms with their families, but thankfully he did. And, you know, it was his time. There's no other explanation. There were no symptoms. He died of aortic dissection. There was no sign that we could see that he was even having any kind of problems. Anybody that knew Alan knew that he loved to work out. He loved to go to the gym, and he was there all the time. And I used to call him a social butterfly because he would spend 2 and 3 hours there. Half the time he was talking, half the time he was working out. So if you know, you know. That was who he was. But anyway, so it's been 2 years, a little over 2 years since I last saw him. I was on the phone with him when he passed, when he collapsed in the airport, and immediately Delta Airlines took the phone. They stayed on the phone with me. They were wonderful. And I had no idea what was going on. They were just telling me, giving me, a play-by-play, so to speak. They're doing this. And then 35 minutes later, the EMT got on the phone with me. And the whole time they had an emergency room doctor on the phone with them because they couldn't even get him to the ambulance. And they had to have a medical professional on the phone before they could call it. And they worked on him for 35 minutes. But anybody who knows anything about aortic dissection knows that he was gone. He was gone in seconds. His death certificate says minutes, but I really believe it was seconds. Because everything that I have read or have been told by other doctors, they told me that he could have been on the operating table and it wouldn't have mattered. Because when that happens, it's instant. And he had always said, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to die a long death. Because he watched his mother go through that. And he said, I just want to go out of here fast. And buddy, he did. He went out of here, like I said, and they said in minutes, but I really believe it was in seconds. And to me, that was a blessing that God allowed that to happen. Why he allowed him to die on the road, he had been working, I don't know, but I tell you what, if you have ever had to try and get a loved one home from another state after they passed away, it is scary because you don't know these people. You don't know anybody. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you'll get home with all their belongings or not, but I'm going to tell you right now from the terminal, Delta terminal management, to the airline, to the EMTs that worked on him, to the hospital that transported him, to the funeral home that took him in and took care of his body. I could not have asked for a better group of people. They called me. They checked on me. The medical examiner, she called me several times and talked to me about everything. Those folks up there, he was where he was supposed to be when he passed away. And I still get emotional about it because I could not believe, after thinking about it, God was in every single step of that situation. And Mother told me not long after we'd had the funeral and everything was over, she said, I don't see how you did it. And I told her, I said, because it was nothing but God. I could not have done this on my own, but I did it with the Lord. And I am so thankful for that. So that's how my journey began. And the next installment of my YouTube channel, I'm going to talk about the things that I had to deal with and that I'm still dealing with. But I want to talk a little bit about, how I felt. Other losses. There are secondary losses too when you lose a loved one like that. When you lose a husband or a wife, when you lose a spouse, it's not just them that you lose. You have secondary losses, and I want to talk about that as well in the future. But right now, I've been on here almost 12 minutes, so I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I don't want to be too long-winded, but that's how the story of my walk as a widow began. And I hope that you guys will continue with me and, send me a message if you want to talk. If any of you folks out there have anything that you want to ask me, please feel free to say something in the comments below. I will respond because I'm just a regular person. I'm not any kind of YouTuber or nothing like that, but I just wanted to share this with you guys. And I hope that this helps. If it helps one person, it's done what I want it to do. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Thanks a lot, and I love you. Hang in there.